Lord, help us to see you more clearly, to love you more dearly, to follow you more nearly day by day. Amen. Please be seated. Good morning. Happy Advent to you all, this fleeting season where we get just 4 short Sundays to be able to reflect on Advent as it moves in our lives. This is actually even the first time I've been able to preach to you this season, since my other time was so rudely co-opted by our guest preacher, St. Nicholas. So what I want to invite to you all today, I would like to commend to you an Advent discipline that I've been taking on more and more every Advent as it rolls around. And that's my idea of an Advent resolution. Now, I know you all are well familiar with New Year's resolutions. You may have even made one or two in your past. That January 1st, where we think about things we want to change about ourselves usually, and maybe it's this year's New Year's resolution is I'll finally join the gym and exercise like I'm supposed to, or I'll quit smoking, or I'll stop texting and driving, or whatever your New Year's resolution might be. And you probably also know, if you've done one of these, that by the time January 31st rolls around, you know already. The statistics bear out that by the time January 31st rolls around, most of those New Year's resolutions have not stayed the test of time. So what I'd like to invite us all to this season, this last Sunday of Advent that we have together, is to invite you into the space of taking on an Advent resolution. This is a time when we are looking at our lives at where we anticipate God coming into our world, and we have a part to play in that. So rather than a New Year's resolution being about looking at what we might want to change about ourselves, looking inwardly, maybe let's make our Advent resolution looking out to where we are called to be a part of God changing the world around us. We don't have to look far to see some great examples lifted up to us. Our very gospel reading for today, after we've spent time in the prior Sunday reflecting on Mary and how God came into Mary's life and her willingness to accept playing this important role in God coming into our world, today we turn the page to Joseph and see how Joseph handles this invitation. Now, in first century Judaism, Joseph would have been well within his rights to call the whole thing off, as it were. Joseph would be living with his family at this time. Mary would be living with her family, and he would be coming periodically to visit her. And upon visiting her and finding out that she is already with child, nobody would have given it a second thought if Joseph had done what was maybe what people would have thought would be good for him, to put himself first. But instead, Joseph saw an opportunity to participate in what God was planning for our world. And Joseph made a resolution. He made a resolution to say, I will turn outward to where I see God is playing some role in our world, and to be a part of it. And so he accepted this resolution. In 1994, there was a half Hutu, half Tutsi hotelier named Paul Rusesabagina. Paul Rusesabagina, who could have very easily, during the Rwandan genocide, done what was good for him, done what was good for Paul. Just laid low, lived into his Hutu side, while hundreds of thousands of Tutsis and Hutu sympathizers were being murdered. But that's not what he did. He saw where God was calling him to participate in the world, and he invited more than 1,000 Tutsis to take refuge in his hotel, gave them safe shelter and a place to hunker down during the genocide, and those people survived because Paul Rusesabagina made a resolution to participate in where God was at work in the world. During this pandemic, we've seen endless numbers of teachers, nurses, essential workers, family members who have taken the opportunity not to just look at what was good for them and safe for them in the moment, but actually put themselves out there in the world to try to help others in need. I know I've shared frequently with many of you my own story about a nurse in Detroit I knew named Lisa Ewald, who she could have very easily done what was good for her in the moment and just stayed home. But she knew God had given her a gift as a nurse. And she saw where God was calling her to go and participate out in the world. So she went to work. She went to work and saved who knows how many lives. Countless lives. Not one of these people, Joseph, Paul, Lisa, not one of them had some supernatural gift or an ability to be better than any of us gathered here. They simply made a resolution to say, I see where God is calling me to be at work, and I'm going to face that way and participate in it. So today, this last Sunday of Advent, I'm going to give you all a homework assignment. I don't give out homework assignments to you very frequently, so I hope you'll take I do it just once a year, just at Advent. So take it seriously. After this service is over, if you're going home to have lunch with your family, if you're going out to go have dinner with some friends, if you're going to go spend some time with coworkers tomorrow at Monday, wherever your next gathering is, I assign you, take a time to talk with one another. Talk about where you see God at work in your life. Talk about where you see God playing a role in the world outside. And make an Advent resolution to decide how you are going to participate in that work that God is doing. When we do that, when everybody here, if everybody around here in this room gathered together makes that one Advent resolution, we will have a noticeable impact in the world around us. There's a lot of us here. And it will make a measurable difference. And in this world where we are anticipating where God is coming into our lives, maybe it's us playing that role of bringing God into our lives. So for this Advent assignment, and this Advent resolution, I lift it up in praise, saying thanks be to God. Amen.